back to school for the kids of East Hartford Public High School. We're gonna bring you the whole full details from Senior Sunrise here at East Hartford Public High School.
And people across the country continue to mourn the loss of country music legend Dolly Parton, her life and legacy. Now at 6. Well, good morning and thank you for joining us on the Fox 61 Morning News at 6. I'm Glenn Kittle. We're going to send things outside to Rachel Piscatelli for a look at the forecast. Good morning, Rachel.
Now, let's go outside to the New England Patio and Hearth Outdoor Studio.
It is certainly a beautiful start to our Wednesday morning. Mostly clear skies out there now. Sun coming up in just around officially in about 9 to 10 minutes. And we'll have those mostly clear skies throughout the morning hours. Into the afternoon, a little bit of cloud coverage for the back half of the day. But our really nice and beautiful weather continues throughout our Wednesday. For those kids that are going back to school today, it is going to be nice recess outside today, too. Temperatures are in the upper 50s, lower 60s across the state, not too far off from this time yesterday. Upper 50s towards Willimantic now, 57 in Torrington, and around 63 degrees in New Haven. So again, a mostly clear and cool start to our morning. Mostly sunny for the first half of the day. The second half does feature a little bit more in the way of cloud coverage, but still lots of sun to deal with for this afternoon. Bright and warm conditions. Any outdoor plans, after school plans will be just fine. If you have one last day of summer vacation, a beach day might be necessary with these types of numbers. Temperatures moving into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees this afternoon. Mid 60s for our Thursday, lower 80s in the afternoon, a bit muggier to start Thursday morning, so a noticeable difference in what it feels like outside, although it's certainly not a bad start to our morning for those kids that are returning to school tomorrow. Now tomorrow afternoon though, there is a risk for some thunderstorm activity, better opportunity for some stronger storms moves in for the western part of the state, where a level 1 risk is included for parts of Litchfield as well as Fairfield County. We'll talk more about where we go from here. We'll walk you through that hour by hour coming up in just a bit. Checking in with the roads now here at about 6:02. We are largely quiet across the state this morning, so taking a look at places like Waterbury on 84 east and westbound. We'll have to wake East Hartford up in a little bit, but over in Bridgeport now as well as in New Haven, a little bit of volume picking up here towards the Elm City this morning, just out by Long Wharf, but we don't have any significant delays to alert you to at this hour. Over to you.
Rachel, thank you. And we're monitoring some breaking news out of Seymour. Police confirm they are investigating a homicide. Just after 1 this morning, officers found a man in his 40s with multiple gunshot wounds in a parking lot on North Street. Detectives from the Seymour Police Department, the Connecticut State Police Major Crime Squad, and inspectors from the Milford State Attorney's Office are all on the scene investigating. We'll be sure to bring you the latest on that. We do have a crew on the way, and bring you that information on the air as soon as possible. Meanwhile, another day and another school district heads back to school today, and students in East Hartford are returning to the classroom. Fox 61's Aaron Coogan is live from East Hartford High School this morning, where some students have already kicked things off this morning. Aaron, students there early this morning.
Yeah, hey Glenn, good morning. Take it all in. This might be the first and last time you see 17 and 18-year-old waking up before the sun. This is Senior Sunrise here at East Hartford High School, celebrating the first day back. And I'm going to introduce you to, I think, the best dressed crew that we've got here this morning at Senior Sunrise. Say hello, everyone. Hi. Come on, look at these pants. Ours, I assume, are put into these pants, and that is the swag of being a senior. You can walk in. Also, I want to show you their backpack drip. Turn around, ladies. Okay. We got Tiana. We got Blues Clues is a throwback. Hot Wheels and My Little Pony and Spider-Man. Oh, Moana. I see you back there. I see you. Turn around, ladies. Turn around. Last day of school. How we doing? How we feeling?
I feel great. It's definitely a blessing to be here and see all the accomplishments that we've done. And it's great to just be here with a bunch of friends. And it's an exciting day.
Waking up at 5 in the morning on your first day of school, that's kind of, that's a decision. But it's a tradition. Why come down, celebrate with your seniors?
I mean, it's tradition, like you said. Like, we have to celebrate with everybody. We have to kick off the year with all of our friends and take the pictures. It's the first day, it's the last first day of high school. So we have to start it off right, even if it's too early to be awake.
Can someone explain to me the backpack trend and the pants trend? Oh.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I really just think that it's a way for us to, like, we're seniors, it's our last year in being in like school, unless you're going to college, but you want to go back to when you were in elementary school, so it's a way for you to be like, I'm a kid, but like I'm graduating, I'm a big kid now, but I'm still like that little kid that was once in elementary school with the cute little book bag. So I think that's what it is.
12 years, what an achievement. Back to school here at East Hartford Public High School. Thank you guys so much. Have a great year and a great college and a great future. It's going to be a great year here across East Hartford Public High School and across the district. Of course, we're going to be checking in with you throughout the morning as more kids get back into the classroom, but it's an exciting morning, guys.
Aaron, thank you. Definitely not going to catch me up that early when I was going to high school. But anyway, as your kids head back to school, we want to see your first day photos. Email those pictures to share@fox61.com, and we're going to share them on the air throughout the week. Meanwhile, schools in Plainfield are back in session on Thursday, but how students will get there is still up in the air. The Bus Drivers Union and DATCO, the bus contractor, have not yet reached an agreement in contract negotiations. Superintendent Paul Brenton sent a letter to families to inform them that a transportation disruption is a possibility, and school officials are working on a contingency plan. DATCO says it is open to meeting with the union. Well, country music legend Dolly Parton died at the age of 80 yesterday. This morning, tributes continue to pour in as the nation mourns her loss. Paul Fisher with our sister station in Knoxville has a look at the life and legacy from Dolly's hometown in Sevierville.
A statue that stood to celebrate Dolly's large life has now taken on a more somber feeling. Here in downtown Sevierville, at the Dolly Parton statue, a tribute has been made. For hours, hundreds of people have poured in steadily, leaving flowers, balloons, and tears. Dolly Parton didn't just come from East Tennessee. She dedicated her life to leaving and giving something back. She dedicated her life to putting East Tennessee on the map. People we spoke to described seeing her in person and feeling like they knew her personally. Now, they describe never being able to see her again.
Well, the feeling is terrible. I had actually saw her back whenever Dolly would open for his 40th anniversary this year, back in March, and I seen her probably from 20 feet away. She might have made eye contact, I'm not sure, but I waved at her, and I mean, now I'll never get to say hey, never get to meet her, anything of the sort.
From the Imagination Library, her children's hospital, or her park, people describe interacting with a piece of her every day. One note that somebody had left as a tribute reads, "Thank you for everything you've done for our family and for the community." Some people we spoke to described driving over 4 hours just to be here, to be able to pay tribute and to give their respects. And one of her most famous lines was stated that if you want to see the rainbow, you have to endure the rain. This is one of those moments, and people describe that after a moment like this, the world will never truly recover. In Sevierville, I'm Paul Fisher, 10 News.
Well, 6:08 now. Today in New Haven, the man charged with murder in the deadly stabbing of a woman earlier this month is due in court for his arraignment. Police say 40-year-old Matthew Almonte stabbed 42-year-old Tisha Marinaccio in her Orange Street apartment on August 12th. Almonte's was found a short time later. Officers say he tried to throw away the knife he used in a back alley dumpster. Marinaccio was taken to the hospital where she later died. Also in New Haven, officers are expected to give an update this afternoon about a separate deadly stabbing that happened near the New Haven Green. Officers say Carlos Marrero stabbed Michael Spencer after a fight that started in a nearby library. Spencer later died at the hospital, and police say Marrero was on the run for several days before he was arrested on unrelated charges. Officers say he's now charged with murder and carrying a dangerous weapon. And a walk along the Connecticut River turned into a fight for survival. A man got stuck in mud so deep that he couldn't get out. He was nearly 4 feet down before firefighters found him. And Fox 61's Tim Latow shows us the unusual rescue and why firefighters say this is one riverbank you don't want to mess with.
An afternoon walk along the Connecticut River went downhill fast when a man started sinking in thick mud. He left his phone on land, so it was more than an hour until firefighters found him nearly 4 feet deep in mud.
The gentleman decided he was going to go out walking by the bank of the river during low tide, sank into his waist.
The Middletown South Fire District only found the man as they were doing a weekly inspection of their fireboat. The crews used to calls along the Connecticut River. Many times the challenge is water, sometimes ice. But mud? That was a first for firefighter Cody Dudek. He hoped tossing a rope to the stranded man would be enough.
A little bit of pulling showed that we couldn't really get him out from the shoreline.
The man didn't budge. That muddy riverbank in late August is thicker than split pea soup. Firefighters Michael Cortezzo and Dudek took one for the team and suited up in their thick, multi-layered exposure suits. Those are typically used for ice rescues in the dead of winter, not an 83-degree summer day.
To make sure that we ourselves weren't sinking, the plants of stable ground and build a little bit of bridging together using backboards and logs.
It took 15 minutes just to reach the stranded man, then it was another 20 minutes of pulling and stretching to get him out of the mud.
It was a lot of pulling and rest periods, where we would get him out a few inches and then we'd have to stop.
Firefighters got the man out safely and uninjured. He was taken to the hospital as a precaution, and what would have been a relaxing Friday on the river ended up as a struggle of man versus earth. Moss says it's easy to avoid being in that man's sucked-off shoes.
Stay to dry ground, and when in doubt, don't go near the wet stuff.
And while firefighters say the best way to prevent getting trapped is to avoid questionable areas, if you do happen to get stuck, the best advice is to lean back and to wiggle your legs slowly to allow those pockets to fill with water. The big rule is never to panic, because quicksand is denser than you are. In Middletown, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
And new court documents detail the conditions inside the Burlington home where skeletal remains were found. Documents show that investigators found Paul, Sally, Ann, and Brian Cash in separate rooms of the home on Stanwich Lane. The discovery came after the home was bought at a foreclosure auction on June 14th. People who live nearby that home say they're shocked. Neighbors say the last time they saw Paul was 3 years ago. Many thought the home was abandoned. And ahead of Fox 61, a renewed warning to military members and their families on using social media. Why the U.S. Navy says it's a real concern. Plus, the United States trade dispute with an ally takes a new turn, and it involves one of our Great Lakes. We'll explain. Well, with the holidays just a few months away, it may soon be more expensive to ship those gifts to your loved ones. More on this proposal just ahead.